This is the Rictor S9. It's IPX5 water resistant, which means I technically should be able to do this for up to 15 minutes at a time. Well, at least I hope so, because if not, the rest of this review is going to be extremely boring. Stick around to find out what happens. Let's go ahead and get started on today's episode of Hobart's Reviews. Hey guys, welcome back to Hobart's Reviews. My name is Hobart. So Rictor has been around for about 10 years, since 2014, and they're a company that makes electric scooters, electric bikes, and electric motorcycles, which is really cool. Now this is their latest release. It's their longest range and fastest scooter called the S9. It retails for around $799, and for that you're gonna get a 500 watt rear motor, which gets this baby to a top speed, when unlocked inside the app, to 25 miles an hour. Now, Rictor also says that the S9 is going to be able to handle slopes of up to 25 degrees. So we'll put that to the test later on when we go on a ride as we go up some overpasses, and we'll see how it does. One of the cool features that you're going to find on much more expensive electric scooters is the removable battery. So we have a 36 volt, 15.6 amp hour lithium ion battery inside. They give us a key here that we can use to unlock the top. You remove the top, and inside we can unplug the battery and remove it in a matter of seconds. That way you can swap out the battery with a new one that's fully charged, put it back in, and you won't have to take any time away from your ride. All right, taking a look at the front of the scooter here on the S9, we got 10-inch pneumatic tubeless tires, both on the front and rear. You're gonna notice that these tires are a little bit skinnier than you're gonna find on some of the larger off-road scooters, and that's good. It's meant for the road. It makes it more comfortable and more maneuverable when you have slightly skinnier tires. And they're street tires, so they don't make a lot of noise either. You have your front disc brakes up front here. Of course, you got a front fender to keep the elements off your clothes and your feet, and I gotta say, I've tested it and they work very well. You got a front reflector here, your dual hydraulic spring suspension, which makes this one of the most comfortable scooters I've ridden. A lot of these smaller scooters don't have suspension, so it's a bumpy ride when you're riding. Not here on the S9, which is great. You also have your charging port here on the side, and of course your kickstand. Now this is gonna be your latch mechanism to fold the scooter, and it's one of the easiest I've used. Watch how easy it is. There's a little button on the side, you push it, pull down, put it back up, one finger. It's as easy as that. All right, here at the back of the S9, of course, we got our 500 watt motor here in the rear wheel. We've got our rear disc brakes, our rear dual spring suspension. This, of course, keeping it really nice and comfortable, and lots of illumination happening here. So if you're a night rider like I am, you got reflectors here on the side. You've got left and right blinkers here, which are really bright. And you have a tail light, which is illuminated when you have your headlights on, but it also gets brighter when you put your brakes on. So a lot going on back here. Plus, you have the hook here. That is what you're gonna be hooking your handlebars to when you wanna take it and go somewhere with it. You just hook it with this little piece on your handlebars, pick it up, ready to go. Do the same thing in reverse when you're ready to ride. All right, here's the app. It's a pretty nice looking app, but I do have to say, when I first got the scooter a few weeks ago, the app did not look like this, and it was not connecting to the scooter. So I did a little bit of testing with Rictor, and after 2 app updates and 1 firmware update on the scooter, here we are. And it connects just fine. As you can see, the online Bluetooth icon is green right there. So that means that we are connected and good to go. I'm trying to make sure that the light's good for you here. It says I've got a 24-mile range right now, 96% battery, and I've gone 0 miles. There are some controls down here, like turning your lights on and off, sport mode, changing your riding modes, the different units. But you can also go up here and into device settings. In device settings, that is where you're gonna change your speed. You can see speed limit setting right there. It'll be at 25 kilometers an hour. You just have to change it to 40, hit the check mark, and you should be good to go. You also have cruise control, 0 start, and your riding modes and your units back here as well. Pretty nice looking app so far. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with a top speed and an acceleration test. I like to do this when I have a full battery just to see what its potential is. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Full speed, sport mode, full battery, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 seconds. I got to 25 miles an hour. That's not too bad. Now let's talk about the suspension. So we've got 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, and a commuter scooter is going to be riding on city streets, going to be riding over curbs, on sidewalks with cracks like I am right now, and you got to have some kind of dampening effect. And I got to say, the Rictor S9 does a great job. When I'm riding over these cracks in the sidewalks, I feel a little bit of vibration in my feet, and that's it. Some of these other scooters around this size that do not have any kind of suspension, man, your hands take a beating because you're feeling all the vibrations all the way up into your hands. All right, so up ahead here, we've got some brick pavers, and let's see how this S9 quad suspension really handles it. Oh yeah. All right, so we're going about 22 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and do a brake test. I'm gonna slam on the front and rear brakes at the same time, and let's see what happens. Wow. So did you notice there's just a little bit of chirping at the end, but for the most part, I didn't lock up and I didn't slide like I do on a lot of other scooters. The reason is because there's electronic braking in the rear wheel, and that electronic braking, when you squeeze those handbrakes, starts to kick in and slow that rear wheel down, preventing you from slipping and sliding. So just a little bit of chirping, kind of like your ABS on your car, which is really cool. That's actually the first time that I've slammed on the brakes going that fast before, so that was a pretty good brake test. So nice job, Rictor, on that one. Brakes work great, and again, I haven't had any squeaking, I haven't had any vibrations. I can just barely pull the brakes and they're whisper quiet. So no problems whatsoever with the brakes, and I haven't adjusted anything from the factory, so. All right guys, well I normally don't do this, and that's ride electric scooters in the rain or when it's wet outside, because most of them are not water resistant. But the Rictor S9 is. That baby right there is IPX5 water resistant, which means you can spray a jet of water at this thing for up to 15 minutes at a time, and it's not gonna hurt it at all. So riding in the rain is definitely less than that. So I've been riding this thing for like 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm really impressed at the deck not being wet, because those guys are working well. So kudos to Rictor on putting some fenders that actually keep the water and the mud off your feet. As you can see, the only place that's wet is where my 2 feet are. Other than that, there's no mud or splatters, or the deck isn't soaking wet. My feet aren't soaking wet. My pants aren't soaking wet. So kudos for putting some good fenders on there. But yeah, I'm just riding the Rictor S9 around in the rain today in the puddles. All right, so in the beginning of the video, you saw me spraying this thing off with water. So let's find out if any got inside. So let's open up the deck here. Looking at it, everything looks pretty dry inside. There's some on the rim around it, but nothing down inside there, which means that the deck was able to seal things up pretty good. The most important part, does the scooter run? There you go, scooter's working just fine. So IPX5 water resistance, if you get caught in the rain, you should be just fine here with the Rictor S9. I may have taken the wrong turn. Yep, I'm lost. All right, let's try this again. We go left. I'm still lost. How am I not able to find my way out? Okay, I'm doing something wrong here because I'm in the same place I just was. I might have to phone a friend to get out of this neighborhood. It's like a maze. Maybe we'll try to go right this time and see where this takes us. Here we go. This is where I was trying to go. Oh, wow, all right, so we made it out alive. That neighborhood almost swallowed us up there. Anyways, back to the ride. Running down on battery, trying to find an overpass that we can do a hill test on with an almost dead battery. If it can get up that overpass, then it's good. All right, let's quickly take a look at the cockpit here. I'll start off on the left. You've got your rear brake here. You've got your bell, which is kind of a little wheel that you just roll around, and I actually kind of like it a lot. Now, down here is your blinker control, left, center, right. On the right side, we've got our thumb throttle, push and go, and that is not a sticker, it's just on there. You can't take it off, so push and go. And then this is the spring-loaded loop that hooks to the rear of the scooter when you want to fold it up. And then, of course, this is your front brakes here. In the middle, you've got your LCD screen. A single press will turn the scooter on, and once it's on, another single press will change your speed modes. There we're in Eco, Standard mode, and Sport mode. If you double click, you're gonna get your headlights. Your headlights are on now, so if you look here, the headlight's on. You also have your tail light on, and you can see the right blinker is blinking, and it's not too bad in the middle of the day, for sure. I got 35% in the battery, getting ready to go up this overpass. I'm in sport mode, I'm gonna floor it. Let's go. How fast can we go? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like we're topping out at about 15, 16. We're getting close to the top, so I'll call that about 15 miles an hour is what we were able to get up this overpass with 35% battery. Not too bad. All right, let's take a look at the pros and cons before we get to the final range figures. I'm gonna start off with the things that I like about the Rictor S9. Number one is it's comfortable. It's one of the most comfortable scooters I got. That suspension works really well, even over brick pavers like what we're on now, sidewalk cracks, curbs, and everything like that. So I like how comfortable it is. It's also really well built. No clickety clanks going over bumps. Nothing feels or looks cheap here on the scooter. So that's pro number two. Pro number three is going to be the tires. They're a little skinnier than those bigger hybrid tires. They don't have the knobs on them, so they're quiet. They're also really grippy, and they're nice and maneuverable because of being a little bit thinner. So I like those 10-inch tires that are on here as well. The brakes work well along with the electronic braking. During our brake test, you saw I slammed on the brakes and only had a little bit of chirping, so I didn't slide out like I would on some of the other scooters. So the mechanical brakes and the electronic braking is working well together in harmony, so I like that a lot as well. The app does a great job now that we've gotten some things fixed in it. The app is really nice. It connects every single time, so I like that feature as well. Some of the things that I don't like, though, I got two main ones. Number one is going to be the 36-volt battery. I really wish they would have given us a 48-volt battery because the acceleration is pretty much non-existent. Now, eventually you do get up to 25 miles an hour, but it still takes a long time to get there. My second con is going to be these guys right here. So the blinkers up front are not very bright at all. The ones in the rear are really nice, but the ones up front are not bright at all, so I'm not a fan of that. Those are my two cons pretty much. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got for range. So I'm down to 1 bar here on the scooter. Looking at the app, it says that I've got 18% battery left. It says I got 4 miles of range left, and I've gone a total of 8.08 miles. Now keep in mind, this is locked down in the speed for pretty much everybody outside the US that has laws. So when they figure their mileage, they're figuring 40 miles of range going probably 5 or 10 miles an hour. Then they're figuring maybe 20 miles of range if you're doing the top speed of 15 miles an hour. Now, when you unlock the speed to go higher than that, which we did to 25 miles an hour, you can't expect to get the same range. So I guess the 10 miles of range in the fastest 25 mile an hour unlocked mode would be about right. So a good around town, a good around campus, maybe a good around the racetrack or the horse show or the neighborhood or something like that. Definitely something you could take up to the store real quick, but I wouldn't be going on any long treks with this unless you want to ride really, really slow. If you have any questions or comments here on the S9, please let me know below. Like and subscribe, and I'll leave a link below if you want to go ahead and buy one of these. It really is a nice scooter. It's Hobart for Hobart Reviews. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.